on YouTube. There's a few second delay. It should be there. Yeah, so this is right next to my bed. And you see how ripped up and everything it is? It's because I've read it so much over the years and I go back to it. On YouTube, there's a few second delay. It should be there. Michelle, I'll answer you later. Yeah, so Alright guys, so we're doing the trade review. We're live on YouTube. Ripped up so just always be aware of that when you make comments, but we're generally pretty good. Over the years. YouTube, sorry. There you go. So we're going to do the trade review. So please send your trades to the off-topic section, and we will look at them. Look, I bet there's going to be some really interesting trades today. I'm ready for some revenge traders. I'm ready for some emotional trading. If you guys did some, today was really hard in the open. There wasn't a lot of clean moves in the open, but it seems like there might have been a little later in the day for people with patience. So I'm really curious about what today is going to look like. And for YouTube traders, hey, thank you for anyone who's watching this. We actually created a forum, an open forum post to anyone watching on any other social media site. Let's see if I can actually post this. Where we'll try to get to 1 or 2 of your trades at the very end if you guys have any trades to submit. So you could just go to the link I just sent. Submit a trade there, and we'll try to review it, and everyone in our room will kind of give feedback on it as well. So that'll be fun, and we'll try to monitor the comments in the YouTube channel as well. But let's get going, guys. Let's see what we got. And I'm trying to keep my mic farther away from my mouth because sometimes I get too close and too loud. So please let me know how the audio is. All right, so J-Bone. And then we got Booty. All right, J-Bone and Booty. What's up, J-Bone? All right, I need to move my mic farther, maybe. Let's try it that way. All right, so now my mic's pretty far. Just tell me if the sound is okay. All right, let me share my screen, actually. Got to do that. All right, J-Bones. So, all right, we got these 2 separate harmonious time frames. All right, let's see. Are these 2 separate trades? We got the 1, the 5. 1, the 5, the 15, the daily. The 1, the 5, the 15, the daily. J-Bone, you see my screen now, right? Okay, good. Yeah, they are separate, same trade, but snap on entry and snap on exit? What do you mean snap on entry and snap on exit? Oh, snapshot of entry. Okay. Okay, got it. All right, so I see it was too far away. Okay. Perfect, I see what you're saying. Yeah, JD. No, not JD. That's the JD ticker. J-Bone. All right. Price didn't make a new low and bounced off the moving average. Bounced off the moving average. Bounced off the moving average. Okay. It was above Vwap. 15-minute looked bullish. Look at that. Nice candle. You had a nice bull flag. God, I see this type of thing all the time, J-Bone. When you get a pull, when you get something like this that doesn't engulf, and then it instantly goes back up, this could be the bottom. This is the early entry for an ABCD. Riskier for sure, but really tight stop. So you enter in at 29.39ish. You put your stop at 29.10. So is it a 20-cent stop, J-Bone? About 20 cents? Yeah. And then nice. Okay, J-Bone, have you been hearing us talk about don't use 1-minute stops? Don't use the break of a 1-minute candle, because like that's just within the normal price fluctuations. Have you been following our conversation about that? Yes. Heck yeah, J-Bone. So you improved your trading by coming to the trade review and listening in and then incorporating it in. And look, many traders who would be using the 1 minute, like, oh no, look, it's engulfing. I better get stopped out. It's going to fall down. But really, you used, what did you use? The 20 EMA on the 5? Maybe that's thanks to Kurt. Did you pick that specifically thanks to Kurt? Because I know he talks about that a lot, or was that your own idea? Own idea, awesome. That's a really great level of resistance and support, for sure. Enter in there, have a little bit wider stop, heck yeah, and then hold. So you got 29, so it's about a 1-to-1 on your first, it looks like, right? And then maybe about a 1.75 or around a 2 on your second. Is that about right, J-Bone? Yeah, you partial through it, and I did that too. My one winning trade was on CGC that I got out early, and it was the one chart that I traded today that had the harmonious chart in it. For a long, I think it was, or there wasn't a lot of moving averages. And we just got to remember, J-Bone, for people who want to use that idea with there's no moving averages in the way, that's the time when you get to hold longer. And it's really hard because everything in you says you want to get out, but that's when the resistance isn't there and you can hold. So I love the idea. Now, what exactly was your setup right here? Like, what would you call this setup, if anything? A, B, C, D on the 5. A, B, C. Get near support. That's closing. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Put your stop down here. Give it room to breathe. Risk to reward. Heck yeah, man. Everything about that trade is great. You're using multiple setups. You're waiting for confirmation. You have a specific setup on A, B, C, D on the 5. You've got the harmonious chart. You've got a big gap up on the daily, like JD. That's perfect. If this trade went against you, I'd be like, great trade. If this trade goes for you, I'd say, great trade. This area of consolidation breaking up above these moving averages on the 1 when it's still in a new 5-minute low, right? Because, I don't know, actually it's still like an inside candle. No, I would say this is a fantastic entry. Right here would have been about a 2-minute high, and then it gets above the moving averages after holding the 50. After it bounces off here. No, it's fantastic, man. And note this, JD. Do you see this 5-minute right here? J-Bone, sorry. It's just because the stock is JD. J-Bone. So you see this 5-minute. This 5-minute, let me actually zoom in. Okay, so this 5-minute is doing about the same thing, right? It's breaking, it's holding the 50 moving average. Let's say this candle is the close of this candle. It sure looks like. All you need is the confirmation. And look, J-Bone, that could be an A, B, C, D, right? Yeah, there's this white candle right there. I think this, maybe it's this one. I'm not sure. Either this one or this one looks like it closes this one. Right, so then all you need is the new 5-minute high as confirmation to at least do the trade. And then you don't get it. So then you got in. I'm not saying you got in early. I'm just saying another way to read this is right there. And then if we zoom out, you get the confirmation. That's why 5-minute trading is so interesting, because you get a lot more confirmation when you wait for these candle breaks. It's really hard. You get a slightly less better price, but you get a lot more confirmation there. This could have been the same as this. This one broke higher. This one didn't. Goes down. Bam. Really great trade, J-Bone. Not saying you have to, just saying that's the extra confirmation right there. And Andrew teaches that. New high, new low, right? No new high, no new low. There's the extra confirmation. Hit control on your keyboard and zoom with your scroll wheel. Do I have to be out of this? Ah, I see. So I can't be an Epic Pen, but I can do that. Thank you. Thank you, Nigel. Heck yeah. All right, thank you, J-Bone. Really fantastic trade there. All right, now we got, maybe, was this Nigel? Can't remember. Booty. No, Booty, that's right. Man, I feel like naked right now without the music for some reason. I want the music going in the background from Peter on loop or something. Booty, are you still here? And feel free, if anyone's on YouTube, to make comments, and we're looking at those comments as well. All right, Booty. AMRN, 1473 Vwap, 500 shares. Was going to take 800, but with the day moving on, I decided to go smaller. Great idea. Entered when it broke below Vwap and had the 50 and 200 as resistance on the 2-minute and the 9 on the 5-minute. Okay, so resistance here. Ultimate target was pre-market low 1440. Okay, I guess I can't see the pre-market, but it's right around this area right here. Pre-market low 1448. Got all out with profit as the market in general was chopping pretty bad. I need to stop messing with my targeted stops after a partial, as this could have been a big winner. So did it end up going down, Booty? After you get out here? So you got out here before your break even, and are you saying it never hit your break even and it went down? All right, so traders, what can you do? I mean, we've talked about this a lot. What are some things that Booty can do? First of all, great trade idea. You're using multiple time frames. You're using the idea also that it looks like a short because it looks pretty. Whatever this time frame is, it is in a big dip right there. What is this, the 30? I think this is the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, so it's definitely in a downtrend. You're waiting for the pullback. Awesome little, not really a shooting star, kind of shooting star, big-bodied shooting star. Go back down. I love the trade. I would have jumped in on this with you, Booty, if you would have called this out and I was sitting there with you. I like this setup a lot because you have this overhead resistance as well. So everything like that is great. So yeah. Cindy says, focus more on the 5-minute chart. Heck yeah, Cindy. Booty, do you know what he means? Do you know what she means? And anyone else, how can Booty work on that problem of, what did he say? Of basically having his plan. Really, Booty, all this is you have your plan and you're not executing your plan, right, Booty? Is that pretty much it? Yeah, no, you're right. You have your plan going in, and then there's only one thing that causes you to change your plan once you're in the trade. And do you know what that is? Sure, fear of losing, and I was just going to say money, right? Which is the same thing. You're wanting to lock in your money. Now that your money is on the line, your plan is less important, and your money is more important, and all you want to do is take your money. When you had your original plan before you entered the trade, which you thought you were going to hold to, and then you change that because of the fear and because of the desire to lock in that profit, okay? Yeah, Oliver, for sure. And I was waiting for Booty to say something like, maybe get out at this moving average. Maybe get out after this hammer, but Booty wasn't saying that. Booty was simply saying that he didn't follow his plan, and why not? And he didn't say this was why. Vikram, totally understand. And if Booty would have said that was the reason, stock operator, whatever Robert says, I don't care. He oftentimes means the exact opposite. Yeah. Only when he's joking, not with actual trade ideas. Let's try to pressure Robert into giving us wisdom on this because he's amazing at sticking to his plan. Type in 1 if you want Robert to jump on the mic to give some insight on this. Robert, come on, man. This is all you. You can't make your jokes and then run away. Well, you can't do whatever you want, but we'd love some insight, man. Robert's amazing at holding to his plan. Robert's okay. Let's just shower him with some compliments. In Robert is amazing at holding to his plan, and what he realized was that he studied his setups. He knows what he wants to do, and if he can just execute the trade idea that he studied for, not only is he more likely to be right higher than 50% of the time with an average of 2 to 1, that's like the least important part. What's the most important part is he accepts his loss. He knows that if he loses, he's happy with his loss. And thus, he's trying to take out the emotions and the fear of being wrong, because he is fine being wrong on a perfect setup when he sticks to his plan. And so that's what you can think about. In my own words, wish it came from Robert there. Next time, hopefully he won't have a dentist appointment. So yeah, so hopefully that gives you something to think about. If we could only execute what we preach every day, right, Robert? Wouldn't that be nice? Trading's hard because of that. Great trade, great idea, great conversation right there, and that's what you need to do, is simply execute the plan that you've studied for. That's it. That is all, booty. I guess we expect not to see any more comments from Robert today, since he's going to go to his dentist, so that's unfortunate. There we go. Now we're seeing the charts I knew we were going to see today. Henry. Well, Henry looks like he killed it. All right, Henry. We got Henry and then Han. All right, no description here, which is fine. So, man, this is another really good one, Henry. Is this Peter's trade? I mean, did you do this from listening to Peter or not? Because I think this is exactly what Peter talked about. Peter, I missed your workshop Wednesday, but if you want to jump on, and whether or not Henry heard you or not, I had some members talking about the Vwap bounce trade you talked about. I don't know if you're still here, Peter, but I think this has you all over it. Is this right, Peter? I missed the conversation, but is this a Vwap bounce trade that you talked about on Wednesday?
Not quite. It was one of the scenarios. I said it's the least likely scenario because it's actually not very common for a stock to hit the VWAP and bounce right off of it. It does it with moving averages. The VWAP, it tends to like to pull through and then pull back through. So, but it's a variation of it's actually a fantastic trade. That's one of the ones I regret not having taken today. Henry's actually been nailing a few of those in the last couple weeks, I've noticed. So, yeah, it's a good trade.
Thank you, Peter. Yeah, Henry, so what exactly did you see here? You prefer to trade near VWAP. You wait for the price, obviously, to get to VWAP. I don't see a 1-minute chart here, so I don't think you're waiting for confirmation with that. So how do you get into these awesome trades, man? Reverse ABCD on the 15. I don't use the 1-minute chart. Heck yeah. Okay, reverse ABCD on the 15. A, B. And did you identify VWAP as your C? Like, were you waiting for that the whole time in this trade idea? So did you have confirmation of something, or was it just the indicator? And I trade without confirmation all the time. You know, it really reduces your risk. It just makes it harder to be right. But did you have any confirmation other than that? Just so I'm asking because I want other people to know how you got that entry. Maybe your whole trade is once it hits VWAP, you're going short. Maybe you saw some time in sales. Maybe you saw something on the level 2. Now, yeah, what does that mean to you? Hard rejection. Meaning it like nicked it and never looked back or something? Yeah, I see that wedge. Also, Greg. Kind of right here. So on this trade, what I see from Henry is I see this 200 acting as a soft resistance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with this big wick right there. That's pre-market. And then 6 right there. 7, 8, 9. The entire day, there are sellers shorting. There's profit. I don't even think there's a lot of profit taking right there. There's someone holding this down. Maybe these buyers, but the volume's so high, it is just going straight down that moving average. So now you have the VWAP. You've got this moving average that's proven it. You have a really tight stop. Yeah, so Henry, now are these partials, do these partials, they are 5 minutes apart, and you probably did have very low risk because your stop was probably above VWAP. Tell people about your partials here. Well, what were they? Were they a risk to reward? Were they a moving average? Because you got out pretty quick, and a big move happened, but that's only in hindsight. Maybe you got exactly what you wanted out of the trade. Yeah, well, Henry, what was your stop loss? I'm guessing it's right above VWAP. 2 to 1, then 10 cents at a time depending on volume. Got it. And yeah, what was your original stop? So people can understand. 1 cent above VWAP. Yep. So what was your risk in terms of cents? Like, how many cents were you risking on that trade? Because it's an extremely tight stop. So I'm guessing about 5. Yeah, ha, I got it right. So, okay, he got 5. He was risking 5 cents, which is extremely tight, okay? If this looks like it was a 1 cent spread when he actually took this picture, so it's not a lot of slippage, or it's very little slippage, if any. Really tight spread, but with a specific strategy. So even though these are really, he's profiting out what looks to be a little move. Remember, it's the 5 minute, not the 1 minute, and it's still a 2 to 1. Then this is another 2 to 1 if it's 10 cents, so that's a 4 to 1. 6 to 1. That's something like an 8 to 1 then. So don't be fooled by it looks like he missed a big move. He didn't miss the big move. He got exactly what he wanted, it looks like. And then he just did the same thing. He just found this as another area of support, of resistance. All he's doing here is buying on the pullbacks. Pullback, pullback, pullback. Must be another risk to reward, risk to reward. Heck yeah. Fantastic trade, Henry. Really like it. Really good idea. Shorting on the pullback, not expecting it to be a reversal, having patience, being very close with your stop. It's excellent. Keep that up, man. Now, Han, this, I was expecting, hopefully these turned out to be okay, and maybe it's not bad at all, but I just see a lot of arrows here. So, Han, are you here? Okay, let me look at that then. Okay, Han, was your first trade in ORB? I mean, sometimes it's that simple. I mean, look at the pre-market. It's going down. Look at this candle, right? Han, was your stop at the body or the wick or some other level?
Oh.
Body. So your stop was here, right? Your entry was here at the break of the body. Your stop was here.
Now.
And Peter, you're still on mic, man.
Oh, then I will curse to myself.
Yeah, grunt to yourself. So then, right, so simple, such a simple trade idea. This is exactly the type of thing that Andrew teaches. Sometimes it is that easy. Okay, your risk was here. How did you profit out? Every 1 hour. Okay, perfect. If that's your plan, then you did a great job. And his question is should I have gotten the last partial out earlier? Do you mean, so first of all, Han, was this just a hotkey mistake or something else? Okay, I haven't had a hotkey mistake in a while, but I know exactly what they are. You used to have them a lot. Okay, so This is your question, right? Should you have gotten out earlier? Is that your question? Surge from YouTube. Right now it's water with leftover chia and apple cider vinegar. It's the second cup, so I didn't put more apple cider vinegar and chia in there. So it's just water, but that's what I drink all the time. Okay, so traders, what do you guys think? Did he wait too long to get out? First of all, without him saying, do you know why he got out right here? I think so too. Okay, so Han, why did you get out right there? Why was this your last exit? Right there. And look at this. So here is why today was hard. We had a lot of like moving averages on, for me at least, on top and on bottom of the price. So I was like in a range on most of my stocks. So I think AMD had some other things on the other time frames, but I didn't trade AMD, I don't think, today anyway, so I didn't really see it. But the only issue with this is, no, I don't think you waited too long. That's a fine place to get out. You're trying to give it room. It's below your break even. You already profited out. You want to let your winner run again. Heck yeah, love it. Nothing bad about letting it go up there. You read the chart. You see the hammer, big volume. You think it's going to bust through. Totally fine. Now, with that being said, the thing in hindsight we can learn from is when you got out, someone was so happy that Han got out because you gave them the shares that they wanted. This is the resistance. We didn't know this, and we didn't know it, but it turns out to be the resistance. People shorted there. People shorted here. So when you're getting out, someone's happy to take your shares, Han. So I wouldn't say I would do anything different in this trade. Just know that from the psychological standpoint, you are getting out at the resistance when it might be the very top. So just keep that in mind. When we see the trend traders on the 9 and 20, there's people that use the same thing on the 50 and the 200. Just like Henry took a short on a Vwap. Someone could say, if the price ever gets back here, I'm going to short it. Yeah, no, I love it. Okay, so then on the second one, right? Same thing. You short after this little mini shooting star. You profit out low of day. Awesome. You get out again right here, right at break even. As it's coming back up. Perfect. I love it. Partial out, get out at break even. Not every trade works out. Lock in some money. Don't give away any. Perfect execution. Right here. Again, not really sure what exactly the setup was, but it's below all the moving average. You think it's going to make another leg down. Maybe it's a 5-minute bear flag. It breaks the low, and then you get out right there. No problem. All of these are really great trades. We're not going to get every trade right. But overall, as long as we trade real setups, the only thing I don't know if this was like an actual setup for you. If it was, then excellent job. Let's see what stock operator. I learned one thing from Japanese candlesticks about hammers, that they do not require confirmation, but hanging man do. That makes a lot of sense. I get what you mean. I mean, it would be hammers and shooting stars versus hanging man and inverted hammers. You'd want to go both ways. But those MAs look different for everyone, depending on whether they're looking at the 1-minute, 5-minute, or the daily candles. Yep, that's true too. Han, only because I was thinking on the third trade it might be going to moving average, but I went in because it might be ABCD. I mean, it looks pretty choppy right here. Really, like you got some good, you got a great move here. You got a nice move here after this little shooting star, but you're not getting big moves either way. It's pretty much in a range, slowly trending down. So that's that third one. I don't love this trade idea because of that, but sure, maybe it breaks and it goes back down. It's not a horrible idea, but it is showing itself to be pretty choppy. and not really much of a range. That's the only thing I would say. Nigel. Ooh, Nigel traded Walmart. Did you go long in the pre-market? I don't know. Wait, I can't see. And then the Hiltzy. Oh, who? Nigel. I don't even need to read it. Alright, traders, you tell me, what did Nigel do here? Right? Here, Eamon. Jump on, man, if you want. If you want to, Eamon, jump on. I'm guessing if you put that heart sign that you love the trade.
Hey, William. Hey, Nigel. This is one of my favorite setups, and I did take and trade Walmart as well, but I took it a few minutes before that, like 10 minutes before. I did saw this forming. I wanted to add it, but Nigel actually took that trade. I do love it. It was a descending triangle, and it was so clear. Like, we can see that flat base or the base forming at, I don't know what that was, that level. I think it's 111.20. Look at how many times I touched it. One time. Then another time at 11:30, a third time at 11:35, and fourth time at 11:50. And look at the highs on the 5-minute chart and on the 1-minute chart. They were just getting lower and lower and lower. And this was a clear triangle. Why is that? Look at that apex also on the triangle. He got in like 2 minutes before the break. That's because the triangle was getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And when it gets that tight around there, you just enter the trade. You can put a really tight stop loss, which is the break of the triangle pattern, and then just get the move. Most of the time, when you get at the peak of the triangle, it does work. I love this trade.
So Julian asked, where do you put your stop on the triangle, Eamon? Where exactly?
There are different ways to do that. An aggressive way to do it is to put it at the break of the triangle. Like if you see here the descending part, once it breaks above this descending triangle or this part, you can stop around there. But this is an aggressive play. A more safe approach is to put it at a technical level, because it can make a shakeout and it can get you stopped out, and it will still be forming, but you will have to re-enter. So you either put it above the 9 moving average on the 5 or above the 50 moving average on the 1. Just give it a little bit of a room.
And then let's see, he asked a question.
In this case...
Oh, sorry, go on, Eamon, go on.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
No, it's just that I said that in this case, it would be good to have it around above the 50 moving average on the 1 or above the 9 moving average on the 5. But since it's so clear that it's downtrending and making lower lows and lower highs, I think that the 9 moving average on the 5 was more than enough in this case.
And then do you see this question he wrote? Should I be taking wedges on the break like I did in this one? Or is it better to take during the consolidation to get a tighter stop with better risk to reward potential and just try the technical stop and expect it may chop around a bit before making the move?
So as I was saying, there are two ways to play it: an aggressive play and a safe play. And the safe play is to take it at the break. And even if you look at the educational material, read about the ascending and descending triangles on Google, on YouTube, or watch them at YouTube videos, most of the time they will tell you to take it at the break of the triangle. But to have a tighter stop and a better risk to reward potential, it's better to take it somewhere closer to the descending part at the support. But at least you need to have 2 touches, and then either below an aggressive approach before the third touch, you take it closer to the descending part, or then maybe if it forms a 4th touch, it will be much more safer to take it at the descending part closer to the resistance.
No, I sorry, Eamon, you're wrong. Robert just gave us the answer.
Oh my god. I'm not trading triangles anymore.
Why, if you can't calculate that? The A to the -2 is probably you, Eamon. It's probably you.
I guess that's
And then
it.
Mario's asking, but why it behave like that? Sorry, total newbie. So I'm not sure. Do you understand what he's asking, Eamon?
Sorry, why it behave like that? Sorry, you mean why the triangle behaves like that? It's just the selling pressure. I mean, people can see. What? What was the question?
Try to explain your question a little bit, Mario. We're happy to try to answer it. I just don't think we understand it yet, like what you're trying to ask. Oh, is that what he meant?
Oh,
Why Walmart? Yeah, is that okay? Well, looks like Robert knows. Robert, any input? Right, Mario. No, it's fine. I was just waiting to see if you wanted to come on. That's what I was just gonna say, Mario. Anything can happen. Okay, so it's interesting. Andrew talks about not having biases most of the time, but he said he had a bias this morning. I am willing to have biases sometimes, but only if a trade setup appears within that bias. And just because some stock has good earnings and gap up, to think that it should move a different way is just the wrong way to think about trading. Nothing should happen. Don't think about it in should, because it shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? Anything can happen. And why is that? Because what should happen can change on one order. If there's one gigantic order, or if someone doesn't agree, and then it starts to trigger a lot of things, or there's just these huge institutions that are waiting to take profit. You know, we have no idea what's happening on in the back end. So you can't just say because it's earning and it gapped up, it should run, and thus I'm going to make that trade. You can make that trade once if you want to and just have your good risk to reward, try to do it within a technical setup, but don't have the mindset that it should have happened, because now you're trying to force things onto the market and you will get crushed like that. I just didn't understand the question at first. Sorry about that, Mario. No, great job answering. We're all, these sessions are for noobs and for brand new traders and for experienced traders. So feel free to ask any of the questions you want to. Right? That'd be nice. Oh, well, thank you for jumping on, Eamon. This is such a good trade. Forget whose trade this was, but it's awesome. Great job. And hopefully we got all your questions answered. To me, it's just like, because I don't trade wedges yet, I'm waiting for Thor's video to come out, which is really close. I'm really excited for that, to really learn and be able to figure it out for myself. It's in 5-minute lows. This would have been in 15-minute lows. It would have been below Vwap. You've got no moving averages in the way. It's losing a level here. Like, it's clear 5-minute downtrend at this point when he entered. I love it. And then it's hugging down the moving average. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, we've got Cisco, which was Hiltzy. And J-Boy, I'm going to skip your second one just because I never can finish all of them, and we'll go back if we can. Thank you. Okay, Hiltzy. Yo, hell yeah. Hiltzy's here. Perfect. All right, Hiltzy. So what do we got here? You traded Cisco. Looks like you did a simple A, B, C pattern at support of the Vwap. You get in before the hammer happens. Cisco looks strong in the first 8 minutes, then pulled back to Vwap. Right there. Red candle. Next candle dropped below Vwap, but started to form a hammer above it. Stop was below the Vwap. Target was the 50 moving average on the one. In hindsight, felt risky though. Should wait for better setups. Hammer time, Elijah, right? So okay, so first of all, I like that you had a real setup. You had your strong, you had your strength. You had what looked here was an A, B, potential C. You saw a hammer forming, and even though you didn't wait for the confirmation of the break, right? You saw it forming, so at least you had an idea. It wasn't just price action. You're trading a setup. And then you had your target right here. So as long as you know that this is your target and you're knowing that this can act as the resistance, which it sure as hell barely broke and then never was able to hold it. Personally, it's not the cleanest setup in the world for sure. Especially with this long wick here. Yeah, that is showing you that there's buying pressure coming up, but it's still really hard because the sellers showed themselves also. It's not a horrible setup, Hiltzy. I could totally see, all right, it's at the Vwap. You think it's going to bounce back up to the 50. It might range, and sure enough, it did range within that, and you get a small move with really little risk. Not a perfect day one setup, but I get every aspect of it. I get your entry. I get your setup. I get your exit. I get you had low risk. I like it, actually, Hiltzy. Does anyone else have any input on that? Members from the chat? Yeah. Yeah, Shubi, agree, but if he's... Oh, on the 5 maybe, but if you're profiting out at those moving averages and you're looking for a small move, I mean, that's completely reasonable. Yeah, and I see it too. It is really wicky, right? This makes it hard to trade. This is indecision. Huge wick down, huge wick up, right? It is hard to trade, Hilsey, so you're not wrong in saying you can wait for better setups. But you got a little move reading the chart correctly, and it's not bad. Which one, Vikram? Was it way later? Not there. This one? Oh, on the 1 minute. This one right here? Got it. I see it, yeah. 1 minute. See? It's just such little risk. There's your risk. Your reward is Vwap. Don't know if it actually hit at that point or not. But yeah. Very cute hammer. I see what you mean. What? Did someone ask something about a hammer? What? Eric says, what are we calling the hammer in that chart? Eric, what do you mean? So, I mean, he was referring to this one. This is a pretty clear hammer for sure. That is a hammer. Right there. And your color scheme, I don't need to look up your name. I know this color scheme. Looks like oh, and there it is. That's what we call the hammer. Hammer time. All right, and so what are we at? Went short on a pullback and got stopped out. Okay. AMD, this was hard today, okay? You find the trend down in, waiting for the pullback, hits VWAP, right there. So when you got in, it's in new 1 minute lows. It looks like it's in new 2 minute lows. It's under VWAP. It's got a clean chart underneath what it looks like. It's in nice downtrend, 15 minute. It's in a gap down on the daily. You're trying to wait for the pullback and the confirmation, and you have a small loser. Traders, I have no problem with this trade at all. I get that it didn't work out, Ann, but it seems like it has all the elements that we talk about all the time. Today was a hard day. I truly think that in the beginning it was very hard. We did not get a lot of move continuation. and it turned out to be really choppy. Even though we're seeing other traders making good trades and finding their moves, I struggled today, Ann. But overall, I like this trade. Does anyone see anything in this that would warrant that it's not? I mean, the 5 minute, we kind of have these wicks, but overall, we can't be too nitpicky on this. It's a really decent trade idea that I see what you were thinking. And then you get out, you managed your risk, Ann. Sorry, Benny and Serge. It's hard for me to go back and forth. I'll try to follow the comments in YouTube. Vwap is one of the strongest indicators, the volume-weighted price. It's really one of the strongest indicators that most traders around the, not most, but plenty of traders around the world use, and institutions use it. Is it extended? Good point. So let's see, 30. I mean, right. Andrew talks about getting 30-cent moves on AMD is pretty freaking good. You don't get more than 30 cents a lot of the time. And yeah, I see what you're saying there. That's a good point that I didn't catch. But it's, so Ann, they're saying that it's a big move for AMD already, but it could still have the potential to go down. It's not a bad trade idea at all. But I see what they're saying. On a stock that has a bigger ATR, potentially, and look at these daily charts. Sometimes it's not moving at all. But Ann, I would say these are the type of trades that you're going to find success in, and you can hold for a greater than 1-to-1, 2-to-1 when you do these type of trades. So I like the trade. Now, I don't think the stop was too tight at all. Oliver, I don't even think this is a mistake. I think it's a decent trade idea that didn't work out, and we're going to have plenty of those. Not everyone would take this, but I see the potential in this trade. Yeah, could have dumped. Do we have any other ones? Okay, so Oliver. We're gonna try to get through as many as we can right here. Oops. Yeah, Oliver. Okay, so we got Oliver. And then we have Brandon, the patient one. Let's see if his name holds true. Then we have Greg. Oliver, thought it was a trend trade that pulled back on the one. C-Man. Was this gap down on CGC really big? Right? Was this a really big gap down on the daily? Does anyone remember? I think so, because I traded this long. Yeah, I took this long. This was a really, it looked so extended. It looked like it held its bottom. And I got it long somewhere, I don't know exactly, somewhere down here. And I profited out right here a little too early. Is this today? Yeah. Yeah, so things can bust through the moving averages all the time. So we can't just say because this moving average was here that it can't make it through. But I will say if I look at this chart and you tell me you want to short here on a big gap down that has a moving average that did not get out of the way on a giant gap down with price action, I will not take that trade with you. I can't do it. Because if this moving average was up here, it means the price action would have been so that it was on a downtrend and that this was acting as a resistance. But for this to be down here on a big gap down, I just can't. There's going to be buyers, there's going to be profit takers, and there's going to be people that don't want to make the trade. So even though I see what you're doing, it's kind of like an opening range breakdown. You waited for the pullback back to VWAP, But look at this. You have this moving average right here to act as support. You have this moving average right here. You have these pre-market lows still going in. You have this really big indecision candle where buyers clearly showed themselves and then they lost to sellers. Overall, I like the idea of waiting for the pullback, putting your stop really tight. No problem there. I just don't like shorting into the support on a strong day like that where it didn't create the moving averages to be on the opposite side of the price trend. Hey, Eamon, can you look at the YouTube comments and see if you can answer any of those? If you can, thank you. This is a high wave candle right there, and it is a gap down. So in theory, without him being here to say what might keep him from taking the trade, he would short as this is breaking, and then he'd put his stop here. And he would exit for a 2 to 1, okay? In theory, now he probably has metrics that will say he doesn't want to make the trade for some reason that he hasn't fully got into. And for me, if he was like, hey, William, there's my high wave candle, it's the gap down, I'd be like, Jeremy, yeah, but with that setup, the moving average shouldn't be there. Meaning the price action easily could have formed in a way where that was not in the way, and then I would have really liked the trade idea. Did it never? See, and he would hold. He says he doesn't want to hold for longer than 2 hours. So if he would have put his stop right above there, it would have worked out. Vikram, is that what you're saying? Interesting, yeah. Maybe I'll text him. I'll tell him we talked about him, and I'll ask him, and I'll try to get the answer. But overall, so hopefully that makes sense. Was this... Can't remember names for the life of me. Oliver. Yeah, Oliver. Wasn't a bad trade idea. Couldn't join you because of those moving averages, but I get what you were thinking. Really nice job limiting your stop. I mean, limiting your risk. Your stop was pretty tight, for sure, but I get why it was so tight. It's no problem with that tight stop for what you're trying to do there. So I like it. I like those aspects. I just can't make that trade with you. And then we've got, is this the patient one? See you, Elijah. My screw up of the day. Thank you, Peter and Eamon. What stock is this? CGC. Ah, same thing. What? Is this the... Wait, is this the same chart? Yeah, it's the same chart. So, Brandon, yeah, you know what? It's like the exact same thing here, right? You get it what I mean? Yeah, it's the exact same thing. That's why I don't trade into these. 1, 2, 3. And if we look at the other, did I close it or is it still opened? I'm gonna open it up one more time just because that's interesting. So I can go like that on the 5 minute. Go like that on the 15 minute. Okay, we're gonna probably end on this one. Sorry I'm slow and I don't get to all of them. If we had 2 or 3 hours we could get to all of them, so thank you all for sending the trades. But let's look at this because this will help. This is why for me it was so hard today, and I had a lot of trades that didn't make a big move. And I figured today I got to get out early. I didn't have any big winners, but I had some small winners, knowing that there was just all these moving averages all over the place, and I didn't really see a lot of clean setups for myself. So Vikram, you're here, right? And anyone else, I think this is really interesting. This is how I redefined my idea of what chop is. When you have something holding moving averages on one time frame, and then holding moving averages on the other time frame, to me, that's one way that chop materializes. Right, Vikram, you and I have talked about this. When we use moving averages, we use setups on one time frames that hit moving averages on other time frames. This is exactly a great example. Trying to short into that, trying to long into that, when really it's just this tunnel on different time frames. Yeah, Brandon, that's the reason, Brandon, I started looking at the 1, 2, 5, 15, 60 and daily, because I would constantly be getting, like, my moves would be getting stopped by these other time frames that I wasn't calculating my trades into. Hence, I like when they're all out of my way on all the time frames. But you don't have to do this, right? You can take scalp trades. There's plenty of big moves within this range that you could take, for sure. And on this note this, Brandon, no new 5-minute high. So your confirmation could have been a new 5-minute high. And I get you're planning for the break. So I'm not saying it's a horrible trade because it looks strong. You've got this bullish candle. It looks like it's some strengths happening right there. Let's see what happens on the 1 minute. The 1 minute, it pulled back. It's holding. You get stopped out. You know, a great stop out. Didn't lead to revenge trading. Didn't lead to emotional trading. You lost gracefully, which is really great. But I see these charts. Like Andrew sees charts in a different way. Robert sees charts in a different way. Peter, Eamon, Kurt, Carlos, Norm. I hate when we say people's names and we forget someone, so sorry if I forgot someone. But we all see charts in different ways. But I definitely see these moving averages acting as resistance and support that will make the move stay in a little range in a tunnel. Just remember that won't happen every single time. It can break through these all the time. It's just how I dictate how I want to trade. And sometimes I plan, like, how can they be broken? Well, there's certain things that I love to see, like when you get a beautiful candle on high volume and a strong daily chart. If there's one moving average in the way, no problem. We'll do one more. This will be the last one. Yeah, thank you, Booty. This looks like Greg's. Is this Greg? Yeah, alright, Greg. Well, this will be the last one, so let me just do a shout out and say sorry too, because I really would love to get to all of them. Oh, Jerome. No, I'm so sorry, Jerome. Second Han, John FL. Vikram, sorry, buddy. And James. So, we don't always get to all of those. We get more trades. We just don't get to them. And somehow we'll figure out a way where I'll look through them. I'll start to look through them and see names that I don't know. And we'll kind of give a little precedence sometimes to new members just so they can get one or two of their trades reviewed. And I'm just gonna have to try to figure out how to do it without making anyone else upset. Hopefully we can all just understand. Trying to do the best we can. We can't always get to everyone's trade. It's not fair to only have the first ones in line get always picked if some people come late. And it's just like a learning experience for everyone. So we'll just try to keep it fair as best as we can. Yeah, no, I know there was nothing. No YouTube submissions today. We had a couple from last night, and I looked at the forum posts, and they were just starting this, so there was no YouTube trades today. But we'll get there. Probably if I told them my email, it's a lot easier to think to email someone than look at the forum post and do it, but we'll start out slowly. So, Greg, what are you doing here, buddy? Accidentally executed the wedge upside down. Oops. Well, this looks like a decent, well, this first wedge, right? Here, short, profit, get out of break even, right? That's exactly what you did? Yeah, I'll go to the second trade. But this looks like a decent trade. You got the wedge, you got your break, you took your profit, maybe it's 1-to-1, not sure exactly what that was. It didn't continue to move down, although you had no new 1 minute high. It was a break even exit, but all right, like I get it. Okay, so but the second one. Oh, I see. This one. Choop. Eamon, are you still here, man? Because you're still the wedge guy. If you want to jump on, you can, but because I just don't see these as wedges yet. I see it as holding the moving averages down. It's under VWAP. You've got a beautiful upper shadow, upper wick on the 2 minute. It breaks there. What does it look on the 5 minute? Then I'll let Eamon jump on. You get no new high on the 5 minutes, still under VWAP. You profit out at these moving averages. Heck yeah, man. I need to start being able to see these wedges because I just don't see it. I see the flat top, but not the wedge yet. Like when I'm just viewing this chart. But from my perspective, man, it's a fantastic trade idea. No moving averages in the way until you start to profit out.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you, William. Yes, we have the flat base top, but that flat top is caused because of the moving average. But if we look at the bigger picture, Walmart is in a general downtrend. I love taking those small descending or ascending triangles. If they are going with the trend, this is the first thing, and this is the main thing to see. I love to see them at the low of the day, at the high of the day, and they are going with the trend. I can't take them against the trend, but in one case, if they are supported by a bigger picture. Let's say we have a double bot, and then on the second bot, we see a small ascending triangle forming. So yes, we are on a downtrend, but we also have a double bot. A double bot is a reversal sign, and then on this second bottom we can see an ascending triangle. That case, yes, I'll take it. Another thing here, you can see you drew the triangle. Yes, I can agree with it, but look at those candles, the 2 minute candles at least. They are not forming higher and higher and higher lows. The first candle and the second candle, yes, they had higher lows. Then the third candle, it is also higher low, and then the fourth candle, it made just a new low. So it wasn't really a clear ascending triangle. You could just link 2 candles or 3 candles together, but it wasn't a clear one. And it's better to take it with the trend or with a bigger picture.
Thank you, Eamon. And then let's see if he had anything at the end. The first trade on the chart was practicing the open, right? The second trade realized, got lucky, and it went short. Well, I actually like the trade. If we would never be talking about wedges, I see exactly why you would take that trade, Greg, and I liked it. Okay, so thank you guys so much. Before we leave, I want to see, Ann, was there a gigantic move on which stock? Did you say? Did something just crazy happen? And thank you, Eamon, and thanks everyone else. Is there something to look at right now? GE? I was just about to show the 6 dogs in my room, but no music, no dogs. See ya, everyone. Have a great day. I am off. I'll see you in the morning, and hopefully we have a better market tomorrow for us. But thank you all. Thank you all. Catch you later. Here's one wanting to say hi.
Good night, everybody.
Good boy, Tanner. Good boy. Yeah, buddy. Coco. Yeah, good girl, Coco. Alright. Little Pico. See ya, everyone.
Night.